but shout out to the women who are supporting their husbands, supporting ministries, businesses, their children, and you never hear about you because you're in the behind the scenes. Well, shout out to you.
Yeah, but also shout out to the woman that's in front of the scenes holding it down. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
leading the charge.
Yes, leading the charge. Leading the charge. Ain't waiting for the men. You know what I'm saying? Or holding it down in the absence of the men.
Welcome to the Clearing the Heir podcast with D and Q.
I'm D.
And I'm Q. Yo, man, back at it. Season 2. Today, our topic is going to be why we think women are dope. We're in the midst of National Women's Month. Shout out to all the women. I know it was International Women's Day, first week of March. And, we just felt the need to really kind of showcase women. I think, that's our posture, period. But just really feeling the need to emphasize it throughout this month. So shout out to all the women, the dope women in our lives, the dope women, that we've come across, friends, family, and those that we don't know that have done great things in our country and across the world. So, I think this will probably cover the entire topic of why we think women are so dope. But I just the first thing I want to just jump into, because it opens up everything, is one of the reasons why I think women are just dope is because they wear so many hats. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we'll talk about this a little later, but one of the main reasons is because, women navigate motherhood with or without our help. Very unfortunate situations when it's that way, but without our help. But that's one thing. Kind of keeping in that vein there, they could be providers of, single family homes. And I think it's just a natural instinct for women I think it's our job to protect as men, but when there's the lack of a male present, women will protect children at all costs.
Themselves too.
Yeah.
Hold it down on their own.
That too. So, but I think, again, just wearing many hats, we could go so many places with that.
Right.
We don't have enough time for that. But what'd you think about that?
Well, you know me, man. I've kind of harped on it so many times, man, about the importance of women. How much we love and respect them, and how we wouldn't be what we are, where we are, who we are without them. We appreciate them 12 months out the year, not just this month, but they are highlighted this month. Pretty much just what you said, man. They wear so many hats. They do so many things. I just think about, some of the physical things that they endure and the physical things they can do. The obvious childbirth, you know what I mean? Some of the things they go through, physically with their bodies, monthly, annually, stuff like that. Just the stuff that they deal with. It's just, I don't think a man would be able to do that. You know what I mean? It's just, we're kind of seen as the strong ones, but I just think that it's just something special about them for them to be able to do that, to have that ability. And then just some of the other things we talked about, how they hold the family down. That I love that nurturing spirit, man. That nurturing spirit is just, you can't beat it, bro. You can't beat it. I know I'm stepping ahead of myself, but that nurturing spirit, man, that nurturing spirit. And I mean, come on, we men physically, like, just, you know what I mean? Nothing like a beautiful woman, a confident woman, a woman that is just doing her thing. You know what I mean? So this episode is all about y'all.
That's what's up. So I'm forced to dive into two topics because you went there.
My bad. My bad.
Nah, it's good. I think we were kind of in the vein just talking about wearing many hats. Like you say, childbearing, carry our children for 9 months. Even though you don't have any children, I know you have people that are close to you that have had children that you're close to, those children that they've even had. And one of the craziest things, bro, is if you've ever seen the process of childbirth, it's crazy. That's one thing. Just going back to the nurturing piece, I mean, that's crazy because I think with women, love comes easy. I would say, and again, some people might say, oh, well, that's not all women. We talking about, I would say, the majority.
Are you saying love comes easy or the ability to love comes easy?
The ability for them to love,
Okay,
I feel like comes easy. Thank you for that.
Right.
But I think the ability for women to love comes easy. And I think when you begin to talk about them being mothers and bearing children, I think that's where that comes from.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I feel like it's a natural instinct for them. If you're talking about loving a child, if you're talking about, even loving the home, another thing that, I think we should talk about, which is keeping the family together. You've seen it. There's countless movies, bro, of grandmothers because either the mom or the dad is physically unable or mentally capable of taking care of children. Grandmothers are taking the children in and doing whatever they got to do to make it work, trying to salvage relationships that they know are needed in the community of family, whether we calling her big mama, whether we calling her auntie, whether we calling her mom, whatever it is, man, you just realize that, while men are the head of the homes, women are the backbones of the homes, and they keep families together. There are things that I noticed that there could be pain, hurt, or trauma that's there, but they may even put that to the side for the sake of the family. Again, keeping the family together. So again, man, you kind of went into some things, and I think it's really easy when you're talking about women to kind of have that conversation and spill over. I think it's real easy to do that. So shout out to you for kind of spilling over into other topics, but rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Yeah, man. You know me, I kind of dive into stuff before we get there yet, but I had to right there.
So good. I think, something else that's dope, when you talk about women is, and I think this is, it kind of, again, it's a spillover, whether we're talking about them being mothers, whether we're talking about them keeping the family together. I think something that just really kind of meshes in with that is that they're resourceful. Just resourceful, having a little bit and making a lot out of it. Whether we're talking about cooking, just money itself.
Right. That what's the parable? That 5 loaves, bro?
5 loaves. See, I was trying to not go there. You went there.
Yeah. I mean, it just they make a way out of no way, bro. They make a way out of no way. They know how to survive, how to, and one thing about women, they will sacrifice themselves for the betterment of the family, for their children, for their spouse. You know what I'm saying? How many times we've heard stories with, like, growing up, there was a lot of food in the house and they would go hungry just so the kids could eat, or, you know what I mean? It's just that unselfishness, bro, that unselfishness quality. Again, that nurturing, like you said, how, if the parents are incapable, how the grandmother is quick to step in and take care of that child or children. We know plenty of people who were raised by their grandparents. wasn't raised by mom, but I remember plenty of times when she babysat. I can remember plenty of times being over there and staying over there. So, but yeah, that story is all too familiar, man. It's a blessing to see, man. Just to they're willing to step up when there's something that needs to be done. So,
and like you said, I mean, this is kind of leading to, I guess, one of the closing topics, which is just us describing women who we think are dope. Because as I'm hearing you, kind of break it down, I'm actually thinking of instances, thinking of individuals. My wife, my grandmother, I could just go, like I could give an instance for each situation, whether we're
right,
talking about cooking, whether we're talking about being resourceful, whether we're
right.
talking about wearing hats. So I could go on. So that being said, bro, name some dope women in your life and briefly just kind of say why you think they're dope.
Obviously, I gotta start with Mom Dukes. She dope. She birthed your boy. um, just always been around. Just that nurturing spirit, man. She, I'm originally from Jersey, so I can remember times. I mean, she's always just, about her. I always had great jobs, hard working. Whether it was in the school system, then whether it was customer service, just always had that quality of wanting to help people. And that's what a lot of people will say about my mother. She's very nice. She just has that calming, soothing voice. Um, I remember times where, my dad always had a steady job, but I remember there was time where he was kind of, in between jobs, and my mom held us down. You know what I mean? We didn't skip a beat.
Mama
Uh,
chair.
yeah, then we moved down here, and then my dad was still kind of, and then he got his thing together, and then was killing it. You know what I mean? To the point where Moms was able to retire. You know what I mean? Which was super dope because we was able to, Pops was able to, have her retire. You know what I mean? So um, she just always held the family down, man. It's just us three. So being in the house with two dudes. uh, you know, um, but yeah, man, whether it's in the home, the workplace, in the church, the ministry, man, she just does it all. She does it all, man. She's super dope also as well because she's strong. Her strength, she is a survivor. So just to see her go through that process on top and be stronger and better than ever, um, you know, that was a huge thing for me, man. Because at the time, what I'm saying, you don't know what the future holds. You hear so many negative things about stuff like that and those diagnoses, and um, you automatically start thinking like, dang, I wish I would have did this differently. I wish I would have, what I'm saying? Because I'm the only one. Your mother, she gonna be overprotective because you're the only one. You know what I mean? So I kind of want to be me and let loose, and you know, she concerned. You know what I'm saying? And so when you can hear stuff like that, you just like, man, I should have in this situation to be a little more understanding. Understanding why she was so overprotective and overbearing and this and that. So you just start thinking like, I remember asking God straight up, like, just, I wanted to live. I wanted to be here so I could have a second chance and do things better. And I was a great kid, but, it's just, what I'm saying? You a kid. You know what I mean? And, God fortunately answered those prayers. Like I said, she's around and stronger than ever, you know, rocking and rolling like normal. So I definitely have, I won't even say more of appreciation. I appreciate the times more. I appreciate the camaraderie. I appreciate the fellowship. You know what I'm saying? You of all people know how much time I spend with my parents now. So, and I don't take those things for granted. I don't take birthdays and anniversaries and Mother's Day, and all that stuff was always important to me, but it means more now. You know what I mean? So um, definitely moms. My grandmother, both of them actually. Um, but my grandmother on my dad's, my mom's mom, she died, I want to say when I was a teenager.
Mm.
And we were close, but my grandmother, my dad's mom, that was my heart, bro. She's still my screensaver on my phone. Um, just, to have 10 kids, I want to say 10 kids, um, just living in Jersey too. Then we finally moved her down to Georgia, but just, just the rock of the family, man. Just that praying mother, that church going mother, she's always the one, I'm praying for you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just that, she's one of those people where like you just always thought she lived forever.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you just never thought there'd be a day where she would not be here. So she definitely was one of the special women in my life. Like I said, she's still to this day my screensaver on my phone. So every time I look at my phone, I see her. I don't.
List could go on and on,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. I want to. I don't have any like blood sisters, but I do have some women that I consider my sisters from another. They know who they are.
Mhm.
Again, just super strong. Always been there. I know I can depend on them. Call them at the drop of a dime. They know who they are. I got all my super dope aunties, super dope cousins. My cousin, probably my favorite female cousin down in ATL area. She know who she is. Shout out to my cousin Tosh. Um, we around the same age, so we always been cool. She holds it down for her family, her son, killing it in the medical field. Um, I just got a few, man. My sis just took a move. She moved down to Charlotte, so she just branched out and left us. You know what I'm saying? You know who that is. You know, baby
Yeah,
girl.
yeah.
Yeah, just left us and moved down to Charlotte. So we miss her. But the fact that she did that and just up and left, man, just leaped out on faith, and she loving it down there. So shout out to Joy. Um, like I said, man, it's a lot.
You could
I
keep
don't want to,
going, bro.
yeah, because
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to forget
Leave
anybody, man.
nobody out. Right,
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 right. But y'all know who y'all
right. And I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna jump in so I don't forget. So for me, and this is kind of why I like to do it and kind of name people out. I mean, you're not gonna get everybody. So again, ladies, if you weren't mentioned by name or by title, it's so many. But when you talked about mom, technically I have two. If
are. Right.
obviously I have one, but for me, I'm gonna say two. And when you were talking about the cancer situation, survivor, you
Mhm.
know, my stepmom, because I don't even go by those terms anymore. Um, she she's a survivor as well. From when I was in high school, just seeing how navigating through that, being a young woman. That's the thing. As a young woman at that time, we've been out of high school 20 years. You talking about being younger than what we are dealing with it. It's rough. My birth mom, some of the things that I've seen her endure, just growing up. I didn't, my dad was my dad in school as a doctor, but I lived with my mama to the age of 15. So just seeing her do what she needed to do for us. I have two sisters. I'm the oldest. Just seeing her, hold it down as best as she could, So again, so that leads me to when you start talking about you were close with grandma, and even though you was with your mom, there were times where you spent with your grandmother. Well, for me,
Mhm.
I have two grandmothers. My mom's mom, just seeing how a lot, like almost every weekend, it was a situation where we would go over there because my mom was working. So you went from that being like, the babysitter to, yo, she's got it set up to where we had almost like the Disney collection for movies was out of control. So when we go over there, you know, we watching Disney minus.
Oh, not the plus, the opposite of plus.
Look, the reason it's minus because it wasn't digital.
Right, got you. I got
So that's the reason why it's minus.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So we watch a Disney minus over there, you know, and that's what that was. So, you know, you creating those moments, and that's what it is. It's memories. You know, when everything is said and done, you know, people get up in years and people pass. The only thing you have is those memories. And I have very fond memories of my mom's mom, my dad's mom, you know, even the same with her, being able to, you know, living right around the corner from that grandmother, just
Right.
being able to, you know, just go over there, kick it whenever, you know. And again, just seeing these women, all of the women I've just mentioned, be resourceful. So, you know, I have two, go ahead.
Let me say that it's couple I definitely got to shout out my godmother, who used to babysit me in Jersey. She actually lives down here now. That's my heart too. She definitely been holding me down, doing her thing, man. It's a blessing doing the thing. She works at a couple of the hospitals, and they love her, man. And she's not afraid to talk that gospel. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
especially people in the hospitals need that. So
yeah.
my cedar, she know who she is. My cuz up in DC, Northern Virginia area, definitely one of my closest cousins, been holding me down. You know her, you've met her a few times. She was the one that was on the Bible study, my birthday weekend. Yeah. So proud of her, man. Been holding it down on her own. Recently retired from Geico, man. So she enjoying retirement, living good, getting that, what is it, a pension or whatever it is. So she just traveling. She never stay at home anyway, but well, pandemic now, but once Earth open back up, she gonna be on the go per usual. My other godmother, she passed away, but she definitely held me down. So Sister Geneva and her daughters, which are like my sisters too, so Sean and Tisha. And I want to shout out like all my mothers in the church, all the great teachers I've had over the years. You know, I just wanted to throw that general, you know, all these women that helped shape me and mold me to who I am today. So I gotta shout them out, the mothers in the church, teachers I've had, stuff like that. So
like I say, man, it's gonna be tough. So I mean, it's like at the end of a record, you trying to shout out everybody before the drink.
And then the beat done went off.
The beat done went off. So like, you know, like I was gonna say, you know, I got two sisters, man. You know, the one that's right below me, who, you know, I have a beautiful niece and nephew, you know, with her. You got a chance to meet them, you know, last summer, you know, so, you know, just stuff I know that she's gone through, you know, the stuff I know she's endured and survived, you know, and then my youngest sister, man, like when I think about some health things that she's had go on, and then just seeing, you know, some of the stuff that she's doing in the medical field, both of them are in Boston. So just both of them, they show their own level of strength in the areas, you know, where life has taken them. I can't ever forget about my wife, man. My wife, you know, some of the things you were saying, whether we was talking about making money stretch, making food stretch, whatever. And like my wife she likes to host. She'll give you the shirt off her back, bro. And then I have to give her a shirt because we can't have her out there like that. But you know, it's just for me, when I talk about my wife, I have to talk about somebody who's selfless. You know, a mother of 5, 4 out of birth, you know, 5, you know, with my daughter, but just seeing before my daughter was introduced into the family, which helped me to say, this is a good situation to introduce my daughter to, just seeing how she cared and the sacrifices that she's made. Bro, like I kind of want to stop myself because it's just so many like aunties, great aunts. I got so many cousins. I got, like, when you start talking about 10 children, I smile because my grandmother on my mom's side, she had 13 kids.
Right.
So again, I just get to thinking about cousins and so many people that I've seen with indoor things. Just so many, bro.
Yeah, all my aunts in Atlanta area and Jersey, and my cousins out in Cali, like all the women in my family just hold it down, bro. I got a couple aunts here, you know, my mom's sisters and cousins that I got. They just all about their biz, bro. They don't play no games.
Real quick, and just trying to shout out a few other situations outside of us. I know you mentioned when we talked, and we were talking about Black history, you mentioned Michelle Obama. You got the Coretta Scott Kings, that they weren't out there, but they were supporting their men and helping them to be great. Because honestly, bro, I'm gonna say this honestly, it's not always that you knew what the women, like they were such and such husband. But what people don't know is the stuff that women do behind the scenes is so important. One of the reasons I love my wife is because I'm able to do so much more now in my life, because she recognizes who I am and who I am to the world, or supposed to be to the world. So I'm sure it's tough at times, but she shares me, bro. And she allows me to be great, you know, in those spaces that she knows I'm called to be. So, you know, shout out to the women who, again, that's why, you know, we might not mention you all by name, but shout out to the women who are supporting their husbands, supporting ministries, businesses, their children, and you never hear about you because you're in the you know, behind the scenes. Well, shout out to you.
Yeah, but also shout out to the woman that's in front of the scenes holding it down. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
leading the charge.
Yes, leading the charge. Leading the charge. Ain't waiting for the men. You know what I'm saying? Or holding it down in the absence of the men. So shout out to y'all too. That seems to be the thing now. And I'm loving it, bro. I'm loving it, dog. Like, you know, we can, again, it's too many to name, bro.
Endless,
But
bro.
I'm just thinking, you know, the women that's killing it in Hollywood, the women that's killing it in politics, the women that's killing it in sports. You know, that's huge now. Every time I'm seeing not just, you know, female reporters and sideline reporters, but now they hosting TV shows, got their own podcast. They
coaching,
you know what I mean? Bro, the females coaching, reffing, you know, doing Super Bowls, like just breaking molds, bro. Coaching men. You know what I mean? Not just coaching women's sports, but coaching men. Man, that's crazy. And now we starting to see that, you know, that pay inequality is starting to get addressed seriously too, which it should have been. You know what I'm saying? But you know, because they need to be paid accordingly to the things that they do. You know what I mean? So I'm loving where all that's heading, that energy and that focus. So
and then, you know, as we clear the air, you know, again, we've talked about women wearing many hats. We've talked about women being nurtured. We've talked about women being resourceful. We've talked about them being mothers. We've talked about them keeping the family together. All of that, saying all of that, it makes me think of one of the podcasts we did in season 1, which was how to protect our women. And I feel like, you know, whether they're leading the charge or whether they're behind the scenes, it's our responsibility. You know, whether you play the role of a husband, the role of a brother, the role of a father, whatever role you play, us men play in the lives of those women who are behind the scenes or who are out leading the charge, bro, it's our job as men to protect the women and help them. Like I say, my wife helps me to be great, but you know what? I'm also helping her to be great. I'm also, you know, not trying to push her, but I'm trying to say, hey, okay, you think I'm dope? Yo, I think you're dope. So let me let you get in those spaces where you're called to, so you can do what God called you to do, so you can be who you're supposed to be to this world. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, as we clear the air, man, we do want to say, definitely go back. You should see the video up here somewhere. Go take a look at that, and you know, join in the conversation, how we can protect our women, but definitely join in the conversation, not just in March, which is National Women's Month, but just every day,
Yeah.
loving on these women like they need to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. We definitely not just doing it in March. Just like we ain't just celebrating Black History in February. We loving and supporting the women every day, brother.
That's it. We'll see y'all later.